Okay, cool. I want to make sure that we are done for the time we've advertised. So we will start and make a start. I can see a lot of people in the chat, a lot of names I've met before, at least spoken to before, and also a lot of new names in the chat as well. Just to clarify, everyone's on mute and there's no video, so we can't see you and we can't hear you. There's two ways to communicate with us tonight. The first one is via the chat, which so many of you are already in there, which is fabulous. We also have a Q&A. Both of them will come through to us. We will endeavour to respond to both. We have a couple of sections and breaks for questions. So please don't think that we are ignoring you at any point. For the first maybe half an hour or so, we might not get to a point where we cover your question whilst we cover the content, but we will try our best to get back to you. What we might do as well is, if there's a common theme in questions, we'll pull them into one bigger question towards the back end. So please do ask questions as we go, but we'll cover them as and when we can. We will try and respond to questions in the chat as well, if possible. There's a lot of there might be a lot of chat. There's about 1,000 people signed up tonight, so where we can respond, we will. Otherwise, we will cover them, or at least as many as we can, in the question section in just a short time. The session will be recorded, or is being recorded, and it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. So you'll be able to access this and share it with anyone else from your club, whether they're coaches or anyone else from your county, if they're referees. And we'll go through the whole process really of the DBS initiation process and being able to monitor it. And we'll cover as much as we can from the First Advantage process. So that's kind of how the session will work. In terms of who you've got tonight, you've got myself. My name's Sam Yates. I'm the digital engagement lead at the FA. I'm also joined by Dave Woodfine just at the moment, who's our national safeguarding manager. We also have Claire Davidson, who was on the call. She's dropped off my screen, but now she's come back again. And she's the digital customer services manager. And we'll be taking you through the content tonight. Like I say, we've been around for a long time now, the three of us, so we hopefully know a lot of you already. But it's great to see so many new faces on here as well. Please do get involved. Please do talk away. We aren't averse to talking to you. And the more engagement we get, the better as well. And as I say, this session will be recorded and it'll be posted to our YouTube channel for you to access and to share going forwards. So in terms of what we're going to cover tonight, we'll just do a brief history. We are aware that not everyone's been around as a club admin or a referee as long as potentially we have. So I'll give you at least a brief history of the DBS process within FA systems. We'll then go through an overview of the new processing of the DBS process before we jump into a live demo. So Claire will take you through how to start a DBS application as a club, as a brand new coach within a club, and also as a match official as well. And then at the back end, we'll just outline some support and guidance and how you can stay in the loop with all the updates that happen across the FA and especially in the grassroots space. So, and I can see some questions coming already, which is fabulous. And we've already got answers to a few of these built in. So that's even better. So let's get cracking, starting with a bit of an overview, really, of where DBS has been in the FA landscape, really. So a couple of years ago, I say a couple, but maybe 5 or 6 years ago, the FA launched in whole game system, or about to retire platform, the ability for clubs to initiate DBS checks from our system. And the reason really behind that was we could match your application with your fan record, and that meant we could ensure that when it goes through the whole process, it then shows on your fan record a bit more successfully than it would do if it potentially wasn't linked to your fan record. So we launched that. It was without its teething problems, with some clubs not knowing their pins, because you got a pin through First Advantage's old system, and some county FA struggle with it as well. Initially, as anything, where every time you launch something brand new, there are the odd teething problems. So we managed to navigate that, and many clubs did put in their pin numbers into the system and linked. And it was mainly for youth clubs or clubs with youth teams. This didn't apply to referees at the time and didn't apply to adult clubs either. Then a couple of years later, we then mandated that all clubs with youth teams had to start their DBS applications through whole game system. And the reason for that was because we saw a massive improvement in the service and the turnaround time of a DBS if it was linked to your fan record and your club record. So that was why we mandated it. Everyone went and did it. Everyone got set up, and it seemed to start pretty smoothly. And for the past many years now, they've gone through fairly successfully. And depending where you are, you tend to find that within 3 to 4 weeks, the whole process from start to finish will be complete, from applying for your DBS check to it then showing on your fan record. Then we obviously released Club Portal, which is the new kid on the block, if you will. It's the replacement for whole game system. And for the past 2 years, we've had the ability to add a DBS applicant in Club Portal, but then the applicant will go via whole game system. Now, to allow whole game system to retire peacefully, we have to take all of the stuff off whole game and bring it in to our new England football portals. So we are now where we are now. So for the past year, we have been working with the County FA colleagues. We've been working alongside leagues, clubs, First Advantage, who are our DBS partners, and a number of different stakeholders to try and make this new process as quick and as slick as possible. Because what we found was, even though it was quicker than ever linking it to whole game system and going through that way, we still had a big, significant delay around verification. And First Advantage, our partners, had a new system available, but whole game system wasn't new enough to be able to link to it. Club Portal is, and our England football portals are. So now with the link together, we can now reduce that big chunk of time that we potentially waste with verification, with bringing in self-verification. So that comes to the process where you are, you get, instead of having to go and meet in a car park or go and meet at the County FA and go and check ID documents, matching them, making sure they're fine, retyping them out and putting them into the system, you can now do it yourself via your phone, and we'll come on to how that works in just a short amount of time. But what we are expecting now is to significantly reduce the DBS check time from 3 weeks to a month to literally days. I did mine on Saturday, and it's well within the process now. I'm hoping that will be done in the next day or two. So it's a significant reduction in time, but it also meant I've not had to waste any time or effort to go meet somebody to verify my documents. And again, that's the savings that we're trying to now pass on to volunteers to make this as quick and easy as possible. So the key changes to the new process are that self-verification is now a thing. In the past, we've never been able to use this before. So again, that reduces a chunk of time. It has meant that the cost has gone up by £1, so it's gone from £10 to £11. So for anyone who has mentioned in the chat so far, it's quoting you 60 odd quid. That's not the case. When you get to the very last screen, it will allow you to go through as a volunteer as normal, and it is the £11 that you will pay. And we will, First Advantage are updating their system to reflect that from as soon as you log in. Just for the next week or so, you might see the incorrect fee being at least displayed on the very front screen, but that will be removed very shortly. We have far better monitoring and visibility within the new system. So within Club Portal, which Claire will demonstrate to you in just a few moments. But again, that means that you're not having to go into log into separate systems to find out where a DBS check is up to. You can see it in just one system, having initiated it there in Club Portal. And finally, First Advantage's new system has changed its name a little bit. So in the past, if you've been doing your DBS checks, you'll have gone through a system called, it's just gone left my head, OD, which stands for Online Disclosures. That's now gone. They replaced it with one called Know Your People. So if you as a club secretary or a club admin have had an email that says Know Your People want you to create your new account, that's exactly fine. It's not spam. We do need you to go in there, set up your account. And basically that gives you the oversight to process payments if you've a club that do that. It gives you the opportunity to go and verify documents in a more streamlined manner. And it also gives you the opportunity to just see where all the checks that have gone through your club have where they're up to, if you wanted to use that system as well. But again, that's completely linked into ours now, so you don't have to go and use their system to monitor the progress of a DBS check. And the final one I've not really called out on there is that this brings referees into the fold. So referees no longer have to rely on their county FA to log into the old system to initiate it. And it doesn't mean that referees have to go in with a PIN number and a secret word to get into the portal. They can just kick it off from their own account and go through the process with the self-verification, taking away all the need and the wasted time really to go and verify documents. But again, that is still an option if you wish to use it, but it's not the only option going forwards now with the new world that we are in. So in terms of how it works, I'll go through the club part first, and then we'll go through the referee part second. And the second flow really isn't just for referees, but it is initially mainly for referees. But to start with, as a club, you will go into your officials tab, and in the officials tab, you've got your safeguarding and qualifications tab across the top, and you'll just hit start DBS. And don't worry, this is about to be demonstrated to you. But then your coach will then be sent an email from Know Your People asking them to create their account and to tell them that they have a DBS check that is now in progress. The coach will then go and confirm all their details. They'll make their payment and confirm that everything's all sorted. And once they're done, it will go off to First Advantage to process with the disclosure and barring service. And throughout this whole process, Club Portal will be updated with where that is. So if they are still waiting payment, you'll be able to see that. If maybe the verification, the self-verification has failed, again, you'll see that with a notification to say you need to help this person out. They've not got their application all the way through just yet. But all being well and good, that will fly through. You'll fly through the self-verification flow, and that will then reflect in Club Portal, in my account, in Competition Portal. No matter where you look, it will all align and it's all live. Whereas in the past, we've had to rely on maybe up to 48 hours for statuses of the DBS being complete to show on our systems. That's no longer the case either. It's all live. So as soon as First Advantage see it as complete, you will see it as complete in Club Portal. So that's nice and simple from a referee perspective and also from a coach after the first one. So the complexity slightly here. So a referee can do this from now. A club coach or a club manager would have to go and have theirs initiated by the club first. But after that first one's been done in the new system, they can do this exact flow, which means they can trigger it of their own accord. So if maybe you switch clubs and you want to get a brand new DBS for that club specifically, before your last one ran out, you'd be able to go and do that as long as your first one is triggered in the Club Portal. But in this instance, and again, Claire will demonstrate to you this to you in just a moment's time. But you'll go into my account. So if you've not been there yet, you go to myaccount.thefa.com. And in your safeguarding tab, again, you'll have a Start DBS button. If that button's not there, you do not currently hold a role which is eligible to have a DBS check. So you have to be either in the youth game, in the adult game, with a under 18s player assigned to your team, or to be a referee in the youth game for the Start DBS check to be there. You also have to be over 16, because again, that is the criteria to qualify for a DBS. So if you are 15 or a 14-year-old referee, you will not have that Start DBS button until you turn 16. But again, in my account, you click on Start DBS. If you do have more than one role, so you might be a referee and a coach, as many of us are, you then select, do you want to go through as a referee or via your club? And again, you'll follow that same process. So the coach will be then emailed from Know Your People to either create an account or to go and log in and complete their application. They'll input the details. They'll make the payment if they're an applicant to pay. That will all go through to First Advantage. Then it goes through to the disclosure and barring service. Again, all of this will be updated within Club Portal and my account. So again, the applicant doesn't have to log in to Know Your People to see where their check's at. They can just go into their My Account area and it will tell them exactly where they are. Hence why I know mine is currently with the disclosure and barring service. And once it's all done and signed off and complete, it will all then appear in Club Portal once again and appear in my account. So it's a really nice process, super simple, super quick and easy. And it's all available now if you want to go and try it. Finally, before I hand over to Claire, just to confirm, we do have many statuses that a DBS can be at, and depending where it is will depend on what you see in the different portals. So as a individual, it's in my account. The applicant will see every update that comes to their DBS as it is. So if they maybe have content that needs to be reviewed, the applicant will see that and will know what to do. It will tell them what the next steps are. For everyone else who doesn't need to know that specific part of the process just yet, it will just say in progress, which is absolutely fine. It's no problem. These things happen all the time. But if a manager or coach comes to you and says, I don't know what's happening with my DBS check, just signpost them to myaccount.thefa.com, and they will have full visibility of where their DBS check is and what the next step is to get that showing on their fan, or to progress it if it needs some intervention. This will be available on our knowledge base shortly, so you will be able to see this, but it's not there just yet. So that is a kind of a high-level overview of where we've been with DBS, and also the process flows for a individual/referee or for a club. So we're now going to hand over to Claire, and Claire's going to take you through the live process of how to add a DBS applicant, get it triggered, and how to get it started. I will caveat with this, is we can't demo self-verification, or else you'd be seeing us taking a photo of our passport and driving license, etc., which obviously we can't do. But Claire, I'm going to hand over to you to run through the demonstration.
Nice one. Thank you, Sam, and apologies to those. I'm not quite keeping up with the questions. Dave Woodfine, please feel free to, drop in at any time if you want to answer anything. But in the meantime, let me share my screen. Just let us know. I've got a real lag on here, Sam, so just let us know when you can see.
Yeah, we've got you.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to look at the club portal first of all. So if you log into the club portal, so clubs.thefa.com as normal, and you will come to your club. You've got your list of officials here. So you have a couple of options here. You can add a brand new official. So if I check in here, and I'm just going to search by, you can search by name of fan, as you probably already know. And you can search for a person here. Once you've found the person, if you click add to the club, and you will be given the option to add them as a role as a DBS applicant. If I search for my name, I did it earlier today. I've added the role of DBS applicant to my fan, and what it does, it sends me, as soon as that's been done, it sends me an email to say, hi, you've been added to this club, and they want you to complete an application through Know Your People. So if you click on this link, you're taken directly into Know Your People to create an account. Just wait till that catch up. It isn't normally this slow. I think it's because I'm sharing my screen. So if I put my email in here, and let's just create a password. I can create an account. So I can go and log in. So send me a verification code if you can bear with. I'll just go into my emails. Password set. Get my verification code. And I can log in there. Great. So you can see now it's logged me in as myself, and it shows any in-progress applications I've got, completed applications, but this is the current pending application that I've just started this evening. So all I would do is go to complete the application. Now this has been brought up once or twice. where people were saying, it mentioned a charge of 65, I think that's £60 and so many pennies. We've now removed that from the front screen because it was quite off-putting for a lot of people. You know, Sam's already mentioned it. It did change on the final page, but only when you changed your role to that of a volunteer. So it's just got a little introductory for you. So telling you what documents that you'll need, your full information, your full name, Mike, should be entered as Michael, etc. And any addresses that you need for the last 5 years. You simply click on continue. Please. And all this will do is just start taking me through the DBS process once it catches up. The best laid plans. I have been having trouble with my laptop, but let's just go with it. See if I can push it through. Once this is deciding if it wants to do anything, what I'm going to do is, and again, Sam mentioned it earlier, so if you're on as a referee, you do get the option in My Account, so myaccount.thefa.com. You can again, once again, sign in using your email and your password. I'm not a referee, so I've just borrowed one of my colleagues' accounts, one of his test accounts. Out. It's logged us in as mine because I'm in the club portal. So log into my account using your email and your password as a referee. And within the safeguarding tab, you can see here, he's already got a DBS, but if I need to start off a new DBS, I'll just simply, for myself as a referee, click on Start DBS. I want to initiate a DBS and it's telling me an email will be sent here. If you've got the email address incorrect on here, you can X out of here, go back to My Account and edit your email address. You can click edit on there. In this case, the email address is correct. I want to start and initiate a DBS, and I can simply click on Start DBS. The DBS has been initiated and it just confirms that you're going to get an email on there. It'll take you through exactly the same process that we're trying to get through on here. So, okay, we're eventually getting to the next page. So once you've signed in, click continue. You've got a statement of fair processing. So read in full. So confirm that you're applying for a DBS standard and enhanced. Check. If you want to consent to obtaining electronic results, perfect. And you need to scroll to the bottom and you must select you've got the risk assessment in there. Once you've read everything on there, if you click agree, and what this will do, it'll take you through to submit all of your personal details on here. So confirm your identity with Yachty. Again, we found, and Sam and I have both tested this, just to make sure you've got your ID with you, that it's valid and it's in date. It can't accept photos, photocopies or anything like that, and it'll take you to get started. We've both found out, it's got your personal information here, So you need a photograph of your ID, we might need one or more documents, registered address, and a quick scan of your face. We found it much easier to do this on a smartphone. We've tried it both ways. Now, obviously, I can't demonstrate this on a smartphone because I can't give all my personal details out, but it is a simple process. You just follow the stages in there. Once you've completed your verification, it'll then take you back on to do your address information, confirm your name, confirm your address information. It will give you a summary, and then you select your voluntary role in there, and you'll be taken to the payment stage. Sadly, as I say, I can't demonstrate that for you. But Sam, am I missing anything? Do I need to demonstrate anything else?
Not yet, unless you can just show the monitoring in.
Oh, yeah. Club Portal?
Please, yes.
Great. So within Club Portal, again, under officials, you've got your safeguarding and qualifications tab in here. So we've got a DBS application, and you can see this person is in progress, and it will tell you the stages that the DBS is in there. Sam showed you that nasty little Excel document before. That's got all the various stages in there that it will show, but this will update in your Club Portal so you can monitor that.
Perfect. Thank you, Claire. I'm just pulling together a couple of the questions because that's what we're on to next. We've had absolutely loads, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
But I'm going to steal the screen back off you, and
Perfect.
I'm going to start asking these questions if that's okay. So bear with me 1 second, because every time I try and press share, someone comments and I keep clicking on the chat instead, which is not helping me. Right. Let's try this. So. So this is where we can bring in Dave Woodfine here as well. And Dave, we have had a question. It's come through a few times. If I can come to you first, around DBSing parents and carers for those who volunteer, are they eligible? And if so, how do they go and do that?
Okay, so in terms of eligibility, you cannot DBS check a parent or carer in terms of legal eligibility. If they're coaching, training, teaching, and meet the criteria, then actually they are an assistant coach or assisting the coach. Let's put it that way. They may not want to call themselves an assistant coach because it sounds frightening and like they have to know loads of stuff. But that's exactly what they're doing. Really, they're assisting that coach in that respect. So in terms of those guys, they should be down as assistants to the coaches or managers if they've got a substantive role. You know, if like me for many years, as well as being a coach, etc., and doing those things, but actually for one of my kids' teams, I was that parent helper. I was there and I would help put the net up. I wasn't involved at all directly coaching the team and things like that. And when at the end of the game, the manager brought the kids back in and sort of did a debrief before they were sent back to the parents and go home, I'd be up on my stool because I'm not that tall and helping get the nets down, get the corner flags in, put everything in the container next to the clubhouse, and making sure, you know, the coach was able to just deal with the kids and we got all the rest of the stuff away for him. So in that respect, there's no eligibility. If you're doing more than that and you're actually involved in the sessions, you are actually actively engaged in activity, then you are assisting the coach. You should be down as assistant to the coach or assistant to the manager and do the DBS check in that respect. In terms of you know, the issue if you do anything other is they legally, DBS could ask questions of myself and saying, why are these individuals going through? Because actually as a parent or a carer at the side of the pitch, you haven't got the legal eligibility in terms of doing that. I understand that loads of people want to check everybody, and why wouldn't you? But there is a terms of legislative framework around eligibility around it. So all depends on the role that they are fulfilling, and if they're fulfilling more than just if they're actually actively engaged with teaching, supporting, and looking after children, then they should have a check, but it would not be as a parent helper.
Fabulous. Thank you, Dave. And Claire, I'm going to come to you on this one. how should we handle DBS checks that are currently in progress on the old platform? Do you have to go and finish that one, or do we just start again in the new one, in the new platform?
Depends what stage it's at. If it's at stage 4 or after, you know, and they've paid for the DBS, that will continue in OD, and all the information will transfer onto your club portal or county portal, whatever. If not, you can just restart the DBS in the club portal, and that will initiate the new DBS and Know Your People and go through that flow which we've gone through.
Fabulous. And one more for you, Claire. Is the monitoring and visibility just for welfare officers to see, or can others in the club also view it in club portal?
No, there's a couple of things here. So if you're a new club, all of your key all of your key officials are automatically set up as verifiers. So your chairman, secretary, treasurer, welfare officer. Anybody who was a verifier in OD, so in the old system, has or should have been automatically set up in Know Your People. So they should have had an email. There was a bit of an issue with some of the emails, but they should all be coming out. So any verifiers previously should be verifiers in Know Your People as well. If you want any additional verifiers, there's a link to a web page on on the FADV site, so you can set up or request a new verifier.
Fabulous. I'll cover this next one, which is to clarify, are we talking about the coach here or the welfare officer that's doing this? This is now any key official can trigger off a DBS check, so it's not just the welfare officer, it's giving other people the ability to chip in where required, but the coach can initiate their own after the first one's been initiated. So it is spreading out the process a little bit and taking away from just one person having to handle for a whole club, and sharing the load a little bit as well. Dave, one for you. Can we still pay for DBSs directly as a club? And convert on the opposite side of that, we've also had, can we have the applicant to pay as well? So what's the processes there?
So the applicant, cheers, Sam. The applicant can play. They play themselves for the check. In terms of the clubs, I will come back to you on this one, but you can set that up. That's absolutely fine. It may be one that we have to go directly to First Advantage and get set up for you as a club. But I know in terms of DBS applicants themselves, absolutely they can pay and go through. And actually, that's the quickest way of doing it, because you can actually do your full check in one sitting. So you can do the application, verification, pay for it, and actually have it in play in one sitting, which, you know, we reckon on average times going through, that can save up to 14 days of time just by doing that. Because when we looked at the average time from a check to be completed, as in the individual has completed the application side of it, there is around on average 14 days before then they meet the welfare officer and get that signed off in terms of verified. So we can save that straight away, 14 days, up to 14 days, by having that as a digital ID process. So I think Lisa puts in there, feels scarily streamlined. It does certainly feel a bit scarily streamlined when it's all working well.
Brilliant. Thank you, Dave. I've got one more for you as well, which is, if I can find it back where I've just was. Oh, yes. What does awaiting countersign as a status mean within the new portals?
Okay, so it actually shouldn't be on there for that long. So the waiting counter signatory is a status which is afforded for First Advantage. So they have a legal person that sits alongside myself, and we're responsible legally for any eligibility issues, etc. So we have to, and First Advantage on our behalf have to sign to say that that check meets the legal requirements before sending it to DBS. So sometimes, very occasionally, you may get a check, an application returned before it's submitted to DBS if we feel that there is a reason that either information is wrong on there, or if there is a query around the role, etc. So it is a very short status. It shouldn't be on there for more than a few minutes or so, but it just is an interim step between you doing everything you can as an applicant and actually going across to DBS for them to send out to constabularies and do the legal checks as such.
Brilliant. Thank you, Dave. Claire. I think I've got one for you as well, which was around what happens if I have a DBS that's already in date? Does that port across to the new system, or do I need to start a brand new check because we've switched over?
No, any DBSs have already they've gone across, so you'll be absolutely fine. If you move clubs, you can still start a new DBS if you've got one that that hasn't expired. But if you've got a DBS, you don't need to start a brand new one until it's out of date.
Super. And does every club official have to set up an account with Know Your People?
No, just those that you want to verify, or those who are need a DBS. Unless I've misunderstood the question.
Yeah, so you get the email, because you are a key official, you need to set that up because it's personally, your access is personal to you.
Wonderful, thank you. And Dave, I've got one more for you. What happens for people who do not have photo ID?
So there's always the process, which is as is the current process, and we know that there'll be certain groups of individuals that may find that process, the digital ID process, harder. Often it's those young people who are coming to 16. They may not have a passport or driving license, and therefore they have to go through different forms of ID to make sure they can get a check. So there's always you are pushed through as the main route is being the digital, because we want as many people to go through that route because it's faster, quicker, and actually far more accurate than showing your documents to a person at the side of the pitch. We've tested the systems on passports that have been found by the Home Office to have fraudulent information and be fraudulent, and it picks those out when you or I, as a human being, probably can't see those documents as fraudulent. So it's more accurate in that way, so it'll always push you down that route. But if you can't make the digital ID route, then you have the route as is currently, and that is the sort of paper verification route, and you can go on to Know Your People. You can use those documents and make sure that individual can get a check as usual.
Super, thanks Dave. And I'll take the next one to give both a bit of a rest. But someone said that they failed their ID check, so maybe the photo just wasn't clear enough, or the facial recognition didn't match your scanned document to your face. Do I need to create a new application? The answer is no. What you'll need to do now is just log back into the portal and manually update the documents. So that's manually putting in, if you're using your passport number, same with your driving license, whatever it might be. It'll ask you for certain fields to input, and then you'll have to contact your welfare officer and do that manual verification check that we've done in the past. So it's not the end of the process. You don't have to restart it. You've just got to go in, update the documents that it's not picked up, and then set up a meeting with your welfare officer to verify those documents. Dave, I will come back to you on this one. We've got a number of people in the chat who are on the update service. Will this automatically populate into our system?
Yeah, so the update service will continue. If there's any queries or questions, please go to First Advantage and go to the chat feature. There's a live chat feature on there, and they will look into it. But they have, if you ported your information over and they have your information, then they will just do the annual update check and make sure your details updated through the system. In terms of the update service, if you've got an update service check, it's for the right workforce, and it's for the right roles, etc., then they can be ported in. That has to be done manually. So go onto the First Advantage microsite and go use the chat function there, and they will talk you through the process, send you the appropriate forms, etc., and we can get you on and make sure that you can see your check through the system. The only caveat I will give to that is going back to the before, what we've talked about before. It has to be for the right workforce, etc. So there is some checking that means that if you've got a check which is for the adult and child workforce, it is unlikely we can port that across, because there is if we haven't got legal eligibility for the adult roles, then we are not allowed to go and make an update check of you, because we'd be asking for information that we're not legally entitled to. So we have to be really tight around on that. So if there's any queries at all, then please reach out to First Advantage. They'll talk you through the process and get you on there.
Brilliant, Dave. And
Sam?
one more for you. Oh, go on. Sorry, Claire.
Just because there's quite a number of people, so I'm going to ask you a question. There's quite a number of people haven't had the email or haven't seen the email. Is there any way they can still get in?
No, interesting. I had that lined up for you, but I'll do it. Yes.
Yay.
So for those who've not had the email, it may have gone to spam. It may have been filtered out because it is quite a basic looking email. But if you haven't had the email, you probably still can log in if you're a key official of your club, including welfare officers. All you've got to do, and I'll put this on screen shortly, and I think Claire might put in the chat for me. The website you need to go to is fachecks.knowyourpeople.co.uk. So fachecks.knowyourpeople.co.uk. And once you're on there and the login screen, there's a forgotten password link. And if you hit that forgotten password link, it will reinitiate that account creation process. So again, it's just go to fachecks.knowyourpeople.co.uk and click on the forgotten password link, and that will be able to help you out on that front.
In that now.
Thank you so much. That's perfect.
Sam,
Dave,
just in terms of the one on here that I've picked up a couple of times in terms about stage 4 and police constabularies and delays, etc. I'll just pick that up in terms of this. Look, we know this is a real an issue that a number of people over a number of months have come to us. In fact, a number of years have come to us. Once the DBS have the check, it goes to constabularies, and they have 60 days in which they should complete that check within. Now, different constabularies, due to different issues that they have, meet or don't meet those criteria. The majority of them do meet that criteria. However, there are a number of individuals that will have issues where their check may take longer. They may be for genuine reasons in terms of they've lived in more than one constabulary area. They have a number of offences on there. They may have other issues. It may be for other, just in terms of busyness and the staffing that they have and the emphasis they have on DBS checks. So we are aware of that. It's something that DBS are aware of as well. We challenge them and have challenged them and written to them and have asked for an update in terms of their processing times. It's something they're looking to address. It's something that we'll continue to raise with DBS, something that we'll work with First Advantage to raise with them as well. There's nothing, unfortunately, that the FA or First Advantage can do once it reaches the 60-day point. So once it hits that trigger, which is the service level agreement trigger, First Advantage, on behalf of all applicants, inform the police constabulary that X number or Dave Woodfine's check has now reached the 60-day point. They provide that information for the DBS as a chaser, saying, please, can you look into this and chase this up, please? At that point, unfortunately, the Disclosure and Barring Service, the government agency that actually processes this and manages this process, will not allow the FA or any managers or officials from the FA or from clubs, etc., to intercede and have communication with them on individuals' checks. The only people that can talk to the Disclosure and Barring Service about a check is the applicant themselves. Now, there's information on the Disclosure and Barring website. It tells you how to do that, what information you'll need if you're calling them, and I think there's a live chat feature or a chat feature on their website as well. So unfortunately, once it gets to that date, there's nothing we can do to expedite those checks. It is something that we are pushing them on, and we continue to push on because we believe it's not good enough. So I appreciate there's a number of people on the call that have mentioned that. I just wanted to give you as fuller answer as we can, and we'll keep on pushing for that to be resolved. We're not on our own. It's not just football. It happens in terms of NHS applications, it happens in terms of teacher applications, and it has a huge impact in terms of people taking up posts. I think that's probably all I can say on it, Sam, at the moment.
Brilliant, thanks, Dave. I think I'm coming back for you to this. Back to you, Dave, for this one, if I can, please. But can you clarify what the process is if a coach is a DBS from another non-football sport?
They need to do a new check, unless it's a portable check, and they've made it portable. So when everyone gets a disclosure, they have a information which allows them to make that portable, and they can register with the disclosure and borrowing service directly and make that a portable check. If it is portable, then we can go through a process to bring that in. There is a charge to do so in terms of pulling it onto our systems and manually updating it from that point onwards. But in terms of can we do that? Absolutely we can. Unfortunately, at the moment, we don't take checks from other sports. Every sport has its own sort of levels that they risk assess on, and that will be unique to that sport. There is a force, and there is a number of others that are working as sports together, and we'd love to get to the point where you could have a check that would cover you across all sports. So, you know, if people are wondering about that, it is a conversation that we do have across sports, and we would love to get to that point. At the moment, the legal responsible for assessing any content is down to that individual sport, and obviously the FA might say, well, we don't feel that, you know, we want tiddlywinks, and we believe their process are thorough, so therefore we're not going to take that legal responsibility on for just supporting their check-in and accepting that individual. So that is why we all do differently at the moment, but I can understand why people ask the question. It's a perfectly reasonable question to ask, and we'd love to be in a position where you had a check and that would be accepted across sport.
Lovely stuff. Claire, I'm going to come back to you for this one. Or am I? No, I'll answer one, and then I'm going to come to you, I think, on the next one. But someone's asked the question of, or a couple of people have asked the question around local FAs, and will they be able to continue to support, or is there centralised support available? Your county FAs are definitely still an option for you. They have been in the chat actively already, sending you useful links and information. They are an excellent resource which you should definitely tap into. So every county FA that out there has a designated safeguarding officer at least, or even more. In some of the bigger counties will have a number of people in their safeguarding teams. They are brilliant people. They are incredibly knowledgeable, and I would always recommend that if you are struggling in any way, shape or form, please do reach out to them. They are more than happy to help you. You can get their contacts on any county FA website, and their website details tend to be, or their emails to get to them tend to be safeguarding@thatcountyfa.com. So for me, it will be safeguarding@lancashirefa.com. They'll be safeguarding@sussexfa.com. Please do use them. If you've got any questions, they are there to help, and they are all brilliant, brilliant people. Another question we've had coming through, and I'll answer this one as well, which is, will Club Portal still send out reminders 3 months in advance of the DBS expiring? The answer is yes. So at 3 months and the day it expires, they'll be notified. We are working on streamlining our notification service so that people aren't bombarded, because you could have a lot if you're a secretary with someone about to have their DBS expired. So we are working on a way to consolidate it into a nice, easy way. But for the time being, at 3 months and on the day of expiry, they will have a notification that they need to renew their DBS check. Claire, in terms of adding a new verifier as a key official, what's the process of that?
If you go onto the FADV help site for the FA, there is a link on there that will take you to add a new club verifier. It's like takes you to a web form and asks a couple of few details.
And can you also add new verifiers in Club Portal?
You can, any key officials will be club verifier. So if you need to change your key officials, please do so, and they will be automatically added as a verifier within FADV.
Perfect, thank you. And I have seen a comment. It's not a question, but I will read it out anyway. But East Riding FA Safeguarding Steve is a star. I can't agree more. He's brilliant. And I have seen him in the chat as well. So welcome onto the call, Steve, as well. I am just conscious of time. I'm going to stop for a second on questions, cover off, because a lot of people asked about guidance, etc., which is my next slide. So I'll cover those off. And I do have an extra space for questions. And Claire, I'm going to send you a link in a second. If you could just add any questions that I've not picked up yet onto this link that's coming towards your way, that would be wonderful. Lisa can manage the time we've got left to try and cover as many as possible. But for those who also said that this chat would be a great FAQ section, it definitely will be, and it will be on our website incredibly shortly. It is coming their way, or your way, but I will come on to that in a sec. So in terms of guidance, the FA's support, the FA First Advantages, FADV, is available. These will help you with any of the actual DBS check and processing. So once you've left Club Portal and you're in Know Your People, that whole process is managed by First Advantage, as already been alluded to. If you've got any questions around that process, this is the place to go. So if you can go to help.fadv.com/s/the FA, they've got loads of help articles on there and a number of help videos that are available to you to read through. So Claire's demonstration to you tonight isn't the only one and only way to see the process. These take you through as well. Also on there, and you can see in the bottom right hand side of that screenshot, is a chat with an expert. They've got a team that's dedicated to the FA and to football. So if you do have any questions around your DBS processing and you want them answered fairly sharply, that is the place to go. They're really good. They have a really good turnaround time. So again, that's just head to help.fadv.com/s/the FA. When it comes to Club Portal and the either the applicant showing or the updates not in the right places we expect them to be, that would come via us. So here you can raise a ticket at the top of the screen. It'll let you select it's a safeguarding and DBS query. So say if you've tried to press start DBS and maybe nothing's happened, that we're the people to come to. Also on there, we do have step-by-step and click-by-click guidance. So not only just the video, but then for those who prefer to read it, if you want to print it out, you can do. They're all printable. But it will come with screenshots and written guidance as well. So that's all available, and that's on grassrootstechnology.thefa.com, which is our support desk as the FA. So for having it showing and displaying and kicking off, that's our world. For the actual DBS process and anything related to DBS checks, that will need to go via First Advantage's site, which was help.fadv.s/the So there's loads of guidance on there. There is an FAQs document, and I am adding all of these questions that have come through tonight. They will be available on there over the coming days, so you can always come back to it. Claire, we've got about 5 minutes worth of questions we can probably cover off. If you've spotted any common ones that have come through that we can cover off here.
Yes, a big one seems to be, well, there's two big ones, main ones. Organisation to pay. How do the organisations pay for it? How can they check if they're set up as organisation to pay?
I'll cover half of it and I'll pass back to you, Dave. But in terms of if you were organisation to pay in the old system, you will be in the new one. And if you weren't in the old system, you won't be in the new system either. So we've mirrored what you had in the old system. But Dave, in terms of applying to be organisation to pay in the future, what's the process for that?
Please contact First Advantage. Go to on their microsite, contact them, say that you would like to move to organisation to pay, and go through the process, and they will set you up. The issue will be in terms of that you need to have an account with them to set up, because otherwise people could be going through doing checks, and there wouldn't be currently they won't actually submit those checks, and that you can't do that unless you've got an invoicing system with them and prove you're good for the money. And so we need to make sure that's in place, otherwise people would be able to go through self-ID, etc., get those checks in process with the DBS, and there wouldn't be a payment. So we just need to make sure those things are there. It's hopefully the system is more streamlined, but the applicant to pay is the priority or the preferred option in terms of this. If it's clubs to pay, we can do that, but you might need to contact First Advantage and get set up directly.
So Dave, can I just check with that organisation to pay? Do the club then get a notification when there's something to pay?
I'll have to come back on that one on the questions. Okay, I'll come back. I'll take that away and come back.
Cool. The other one, which seems to be a real big problem, Sam, is that people are saying they're not getting the emails. We've had people start the process, the click through when I did, and they've not had an email within the last half hour. Do we know how long it takes, and what do we do if they're not getting the email?
So there is a minor bug that First Advantage have picked up around some emails not being triggered. It's a minor issue at the moment, but they are fixing it like very quickly. But one thing I would say is normally it will come within a minute, but there are cases where it could take a little bit longer. So please do give it a chance. If you've just tried to do it now and they've still not got the email yet, please do just. I'm being attacked by a dog. 1 second. Please do give it a second to come through to your email inbox. Also, please do check it's not gone to spam or junk. We have noticed a couple of people have had that as an issue. But if you're still struggling and that email's still not sending, please do drop First Advantage in via their chat a note, and they will send through some guidance of how to rectify that. But they are aware of a minor bug they've got, and they are working very quickly to fix that over the next day or two.
Excellent.
I'm going to ask you one more, Claire, before I think we need to start to try and wrap this up a little bit. But the one I picked up, and I think it's from Andy Gorman, if I remember correctly, was around once a applicant has gone through the process, they've got the DBS, do they need to be removed as a DBS applicant, or will that no longer be the case?
No, that will no longer be the case. We will be clearing the DBS applicants once they've completed the DBS.
Perfect. And existing coaches are never actually added as a DBS applicant anymore. They just have it triggered. So again, Andy, it should hopefully cleanse your data a little bit. But thank you, everybody, for putting your questions in the chat. We're going to take them onto our little document we've got here, and they will appear on our FAQs over the next couple of days. But really, really appreciate people getting involved in the chat and the Q&A. It's been really, really useful. And apologies we can't get through them all, but there are literally hundreds, and I can't have you sat here for another 3.5 hours. So we will cover them. They will be available. But yes. But in terms of any updates that we send out for everything that we do, everything gets posted to grassrootstechnology.thefa.com. There's loads of not just guidance articles on there, but important updates, system downtimes, wherever it might be, it's all posted there, so you can go and see it. Please do go and follow us. We're now on TikTok. We're trying to be a bit more modern, but you can find us under the name FAGR Tech, all lowercase. We are on YouTube, loads of stuff going on there at the moment. We are Grassroots Tech on there, and on Twitter we are at FAGR Tech as well. So please do join us on there. All our updates, little help and guidance articles are all being posted on there. So please do use them. And a final couple of call outs, especially as the audience here are very much in the safeguarding space, but play safe. The date has been announced for this week, for this season, for the coming season, and it's the 27th and 28th of September. So if you haven't seen that already, have a look around, have a Google. It's on the England football website and thefa.com. So please have a look and get your club signed up. The more people that take part in this, the more impact we can have to make sure that every child and every person is safeguarded within sport. And finally, as we are full of volunteers in the chat, please, if you haven't seen already, the England football family. If you're a volunteer in football, you can sign up. You don't get bombarded with emails and offers from us, but you will get an email once a month with giveaways, really. So for those who are already in there, and if you sign up tonight, tomorrow's email that's going to come out will offer you some free England tickets for upcoming fixtures, as well as having a club legend come to your club and run a training session. So these are only available for those people who are for volunteers in football. It doesn't have to be just a coach. It could be a parent, helper, whatever you do to help out your football club. You can get involved, get signed up, and be rewarded. Because one thing we are very conscious of and cognizant of the fact is that volunteering can be quite a heavy task, and we want you to be rewarded for that. And I have just seen someone say I've been played on Wembley through the England football family, and that is absolutely correct. We do have giveaways to play on the pitch as well, so very much worth your while if you are volunteering football. But that is me. This is dead on half past, as I promised to finish on. Thank you all so very much for joining. Please do follow the recording. That'll be on YouTube tomorrow. There'll be a lot of FAQs posted to our knowledge base shortly, and apologies we couldn't get through them all, but there has been a lot. But thank you again for joining. Thanks to Claire and Dave for their support today, and we shall see you all over the next coming weeks and months, and most of all, have a very good 25-26 season. Thank you.